What is up, my beautiful people? Today's video is going to be a little bit different than the normal episodic adventure video I usually share with you guys. I'm going to be taking you on a journey around my boat. We're going to be looking at every single line that I use, how to deal with it, and how to stow it correctly. In this video, you're going to learn how to hang a line on the mast, how to hang a line on the lifelines, and how to hang a line on the winches. I'm also going to show you guys a couple of different knots I use that I love. This is not going to be a knot video. I'll do another one of those later. But if you pay attention, you might learn a few things. So let's go for a little walk. Okay, we're going to start at the front of the boat, and the first line that I use is this green cord. It's got a whipping on the end, and I use it as my snubber for my anchor. So to take all of the strain off of this chain and off of this windlass, I use a 6-foot length of line, and I tie my own knot in it. That knot is a rolling hitch. There's a couple of different ways to tie it. The way I'll show you today is the way that I've tied it for the last 6 years, and it's only failed me once, and that was because the line broke. As you can see, this line is starting to fray, so at a certain point I'm going to need to cut this off and then start over, re-whip it, cut it, and be good to go. But right now it's fine. It's just the end. So you want to leave about 6 feet, take it under the line, go backwards, 1, 2, 3, and then the same rotational direction, go on the forward end of the knot, 1, 2. All right, now that's a rolling hitch. Now when pressure is applied this direction, it's going to pull that chain up, okay? And it's not going to slip on the chain. Okay, now that we got it attached to the chain, we're going to attach it to the boat. And what we do is we wrap it twice. So you got kind of a snowman. Here's his head, here's his body, here's his legs. And we go underneath the legs and through the body, just like this. And this turns into the Alpine hitch, or the Alpine butterfly hitch, where you have 2 bites, 1 on either side, and no matter what happens with this thing, if it gets super, super tight, you can always break the back of the knot, just like a bowline, okay? So, and then we just put this over the capstan and let go the chain. Now the boat is being supported by this line instead of the chain, and that therefore your windlass won't get burned out or ripped apart, or the motor won't get screwed up just because the whole boat's weight is on this windlass. And then this is kind of a sacrificial line. So now what do we do with all this stuff? Okay, so the rest of this line we're just going to flake out on the floor, so it's easy to curl up. And then we can take it and we're going to hang it on the lifeline. So this is a good thing to do with your jib lines if you want to take your jib lines up and hang them somewhere, just to get them out of the way while you clean your boat or something. If you have white lines, you don't want to clean your boat with all the lines draping on your boat. So you just take these lines, pull them up, and do this same exact thing with them. But this line will end up hanging over half and half, so that you want to make pretty big loops. So 6-foot loops, 1. And then it's a lot better for all line if you have a half twist going one way and a half twist going the other way. So in order to do that, you wrap it one way, and then you turn your hand upside down, like backwards like this, and grab it like this. Grab it like this, also 6 foot, and then whip it around inside itself. Okay? Next one goes outside itself. Next one goes inside itself. And you just keep doing that over and over, and then the line will be straight. You don't have to do it this way, but if you ever have gotten a line off of a cleat or off of a dock or out of a locker and it's just a tangled mess of crap, this will help with that. This will help mitigate that a bit. Okay, now that we've got some loops, we've got a pretty good loop. We're going to put it over about halfway and then pull in the entire band like this, and then just clean it up just a bit. So that looks nice. And then when you need to use it, and when you're ready to go, you can just pull it all out and toss it on the floor. And now you have a nice flaked out line again that's going to come all the way out, no problems. It's not going to be all tangled up, and it doesn't have too many twists because it's all twisted one way, one way, one way, one way. Okay? So let me clean that up real quick. And this shouldn't take long. This is a really easy process. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be, it's not an exact science. These things can twist into figure eights a little bit too, not a big deal. But you just want to make it so it's not going to get all tangled up when you go to get it later. Yeah, see, that one worked out even prettier, and I was doing it trying to do it fast. Okay, here's how I hang up all of my mast lines. Most of my mast lines have a loop on the end of them, which has been spliced in because they're high-tech lines. There's Dyneema inside, the Dyneema ends here, and then the cover gets spliced back into itself and stitched. That makes it for really easy hanging. This is absolutely the easiest way to handle these kinds of lines. Okay, so this one's the Genoa line. This is the forestay sail, the Genoa or jib, and it's the halyard for it. So what we're going to do is untie it and throw it down like we just finished raising the jib. Now we have all this extra line. What do we do with it? We're going to hang it on one of these cleats. This cleat is specifically for this. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of a leader and make sure when we hang it that this has enough to go to move up here. And then we're going to make same exact pattern we did before with the green line in front. We're going to make 6-foot loops, one direction, flip around, do the other direction, flip around one direction, flip around the other direction. This is a little bit stiffer line, all this high-tech stuff, so you got to be a little bit more careful with it. It tends to have a little more memory, whereas the other line kind of just, if you just get regular stay set, like this is double braid stay set, this stuff is more kind of pliant. Which one am I on? All right. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. This just has to be nice when you want to get it out. The whole point of all this stuff is just to make it so it won't get messed up when you go to use it. Okay, cool. Now we have about 1 meter left. That may be enough. I think I'm going to pull just a bit more, like 1.5 meters. And then this is the knot. So you go around the whole loop. You grab it with your fingers in here. So now you have a loop here. And then you put this loop through this loop. Okay? I'm going to show you that one more time. No. Here's the end of the line, the last loop. We've got 1.5 meters, about 4 feet. We wrap it around the entire loop, and then we grab it with your fingers that are holding them. And then we make a loop with it. We just put this loop through that loop, okay? And put this loop on top. And there we go. So the point of doing it like this and having all your lines be the same style is that at night, when there's no light, when you have 40 knots of wind and your sail is ripped and you need to get it down, and of course your spreader lights don't work and all your torches are dead, you need to get this off with your eyes closed. And this is super easy. All you do is you reach over, grab the line off, feel down to where the loop is, take the loop up, grab the loop, and boom, you're done. Now your line is ready to go. And it's not going to tangle itself. When I pull it, it doesn't get all tangled up. It just comes out. That's the important part. When you throw it down, it'll come out. If you do it a way where it's all twisted all to shit, it's never going to come out right. It's a safety thing on my boat. and you can see some of these are turning into figure eights. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. As long as the entire rope is making that one turn, where you're grabbing it and you're turning it backwards one way, and you're grabbing it and you're turning it forwards one way, but not a big deal. It's especially true with these high-tech lines though. You have to do it that way, or else they end up getting all twisted. Okay, and then I don't have 4 feet here at the end, so I'm just gonna pull the last one and make it a little shorter, and then wrap it around, grab it with my fingers, boom, done. All right, let's go back to the winches and I'll show you how to hang them on the winches. Okay, this is one way that I've seen that people put away their lines on a winch, and this is not the right way to do it. This is ridiculous actually, because now I have to unwrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times to get it off of there if I need to use that winch. That's crazy. So this is my jib sheet, and I want to hang it on the winch so it's really easy to get at with my eyes closed. So I'm going to do all the winches the same way. They're going to go around 3 times, up into the tailor. So basically what I want to do is leave a little bit of leader, maybe 2 feet, half a meter, and start making small loops. So when it's hanging, the loops aren't hanging in the water that's going to be coming down the boat. So I want it hanging about right here. So that's a good size loop for this. Also, I'm going to use the same technique to make the line not twist too much. And right now I've only got 3 loops, okay? That's all the extra line I have room for. So now that I've got this done, I'm going to reach through and I'm going to grab the line and pull it up over itself onto the winch. All right? That is how I like all my winches done. Let's do it for the staysail now. This one's already wrapped up. Now we just have to leave a bit of leader, make some loops, reach through, grab it, put it over. Perfect. Okay, now let's do it for the jib furler line. This line is going to be a little different because it's got a Dyneema core and a polyester sheath. So it's going to be a little stiffer and it's much longer, but the technique is exactly the same. 3 wraps on the winch, up into the tailor, around, leave it a 1.5 feet leader, and start making your loops. This is also brand new line. It's really hard to use brand new line like this. This is called Viper line. I like this line. It's pretty nice. And it's a little bit cheaper than the Samson stuff or the real high-tech, real expensive stay set Dyneema stuff. All right, now that we have all of our loops, I just do the same thing. I reach in through, grab this, loop it over the winch, boom. Now, when I have a problem and I really need my jib out, say my jib is completely furled up and my engine dies and I'm on a lee shore and I'm being blown towards the shore and I need to sail away, I can just grab this, pull it, throw it down, and now it's ready to go. Same thing, when I pull it out, it's not going to get all tangled up. It's not going to come out in one big tangle. It just comes out, and that's the way you want it. Last thing I want to talk to you guys about is lines that you'd like to have hanging on your boat for when you need them. Mooring lines, just extra lines. If you're in an anchorage and you're going around and you have to med moor at this place and need a 50 line up front, and then you have to go to a dock and get water, and then you have to go, maybe side tie to somebody's boat. You want these lines outside, out of the lockers and ready to use. So let's go see how I hang them on the lifelines. Okay, so let's just talk about all the lines that are hanging here just for a second. These are just 6-foot pieces of line. I love to have these. These are one of the best things on the boat. You can use them to tie up anything. You just tie a bowline to a stanchion or a piece of rigging or whatever, and then you can tie up a gas can here, or your dinghy, or your anchor, or whatever you need to tie to the boat. These lines come in handy all the time. I try to have at least 3 or 4 of these extra than what I need. I mean, you can see right here, I've used it to tie up the gas can, and this gas can is not going anywhere. And this is the same exact piece of line. And when you need them, it's just nice to have nice, easy to use 6-foot pieces of line. If you need a longer one, you can tie a fisherman's knot into 2 of them. So you just tie a hitch like that, put it through, put it through, and then tie another hitch like that, and that ties them together. This is also called the lover's knot. El nudo de amor. It is, it's called that. And then now I have a 12-foot piece, so I can use it to tie down something bigger. When I want to hang these up, I just double them over again, and then hang them through themselves the same way we did that green line in the front, just like that. And they work great. The reason I double them twice is I don't want them hanging in the water. If you just do once and try to let it hang, it kind of gets everywhere. It gets in the way. People can step on it. It gets dirty. So you want to keep them off the deck. 1, 2, 3. Okay, last thing is working with these big 50-foot, 60-foot, 70-foot pieces of line that you have to use sometimes for moorings or whatever. What do you do with them? My easiest way is to just hang them on the side of the boat, and that way they're there for later, and it's the easiest way to keep them from getting damaged or tangled is the big one. So let me show you how I deal with these. So I take the end and measure how long it will be to be just hanging off the deck. You don't want it hitting the deck. You don't want it way up here, because then you'll have this huge loop that is hard to deal with. You want it just hanging off the deck when it's hanging on the stanchion. All right, now you need to make your loops just about that big. So 1 loop, see, it's just about the same length. And then hand underneath, another loop, hand on top, hand underneath. This was an old jib sheet. So the last one went up over, the next one up under, next one up over, and the last one up under. Okay, now I've got the whole thing in 1 loop. I want to take 1 off and do the same technique we did on the mast. We go around the entire loop, we grab it with our fingers, make a loop, and then push this through. So that's what we're left with. All right. Now to go over a stanchion securely, we're going to make a clove hitch. So here's the clove hitch. We go over it, make an X, and go up underneath. All right, and then just for added security, we're going to take this one and we're going to make 1 more hitch around the bottom. That way, this has a propensity to slip. Like if you're always taking waves, wave, 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 eventually it's already down here. Eventually it'll be off and it'll just sink. So get it tight and then take it and just loop it around and through itself, right like that, to make 1 hitch on the bottom. Boom, and that's it. That will not come off in the waves. That last little hitch keeps it from coming out. It doesn't matter how much it moves. If that hitch is secure and you've left a tail long enough where it won't slip out, it'll never fall off your boat. And that's exactly the way I do fenders too. Let me just show you that before we leave. Okay, so the way I do fenders is the exact same knot that we did with the rope. We do the fender, we get it down to the proper length. Usually what you want to do is just have them right above the water line, like just so they're barely not dragging in the water. That way it covers the most distance. You don't know how high the dock is going to be, and then you can go back and adjust them as you need for the height of the dock. So you're going to do the same clove hitch. You go over itself and then under. And if you want, This is a good knot for being able to adjust. You can go up very, very easily and adjust it, or you can go down very, very easily and adjust it. Now this is how most people finish this knot, but on a fender, I've lost so many of them because I just didn't do that last hitch. So the same as the lines, you're gonna tie one hitch around this, and it's the easiest knot in the world. You just go through like that. And that little extra step will keep you from losing your fender. So whenever I have fenders that are on a dock long term, that's absolutely how I tie it, and that's how I teach my crew to tie it. And long or short term, that's the best way to tie a fender. Takes one more step to get it untied, but you won't lose them that way. Thank you very much for tuning in to my rope series. Hope you liked it, hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Much love. Regular episodes are coming back next week where we are in the Salmon Blast with Plucky again.